and I taught at this school for 37 years. Let me stand over here. And first of all, I want to apologize to you guys because I didn't get to be your teacher, but I get to come to this assembly to get you sing one of my favorite songs. So glad I'm here. Like Mrs. Wilson said, when I first started teaching here in 1981, Dr. Martin Luther King's wasn't even a holiday yet. We still had Columbus Day as a holiday in October. And about 2 years later after that, he did become a holiday, and we decided as a school to start this peace assembly. And then 2 years later, we started doing the medals. And 2 years after that, they did the faculty staff awards. So boys and girls, if you win a medal today, it's quite an honor to get. You only get to do it once, but it's very special. Purpose, why I'm here. What else would I be doing in January except the peace run and the peace assembly? I've done it for 35 years, and I was just so excited to come and see you all at this assembly. But mainly I came to talk to you about what, Dr. King, and I know your teachers have been talking to you a lot, right? Teachers and Mrs. Wilson and Miss Yarno. Is Miss Yarno there?
No, she's
not. Okay. About Dr. King. But my question to you, you learned about being kind, sharing, being nice when you're in the classroom. That's pretty easy, right? But can you do that like when you're on the playground and when you get really mad at somebody who's bothering you? Can you remember what Dr. King said? When you're eating lunch and someone's bothering you, can you figure a strategy not to get into a fight with those kids? Yeah, that's great. I hope you can. When you're at home and mom and dad ask you to do something, do you like throw a fit, give them a face, and say, how come? What will you give me? Is that a nice thing to do to your parents? No. Parents, I'm on your side, trust me. Okay, and I'm sure you guys have been talking about dreams, right? How many of you wrote about your dream? Dr. King and his dreams? Okay, little Mike. What I'm telling you now is, I'm sure your parents have told this, your teachers told you, and Miss Wilson, when you grow up, you can be whatever you want. Doesn't matter what your skin color is, if you're a boy or a girl, you can do whatever you want. And it would be my privilege someday, girls, to vote for one of you for president. I really would, if that happens. Don't be afraid. If you really want something, you should go for it. I won't do the joke about my 4-year-old, what he wants to be, my grandson. Michael Jackson or a ninja. That's what his goal is. Okay. Like I said, my dream about 15 years ago was we had the peace assembly, and we always did the Olympics in gym. You know that. But 15 years ago, what can we do to honor Dr. King that's outside and exercise and has to do with being physically fit? And that's when I started the peace run. And then last Friday, it seems like a month ago, Mr. W, but it was only last Friday, you guys all came down to the lower field and ran. Thumbs up if you remember running. And I was so proud of you. None of you guys quit. None of you guys gave up. You kept moving forward. And many of you, were awarded medals. But I want to show you something. Sanaya, could you come out here for a sec? Not everybody can be the fastest person at this school. But how many of you run before school every day? And I know you guys have been keeping track. So I went into my medal thing. It's pretty heavy, isn't it? Show it to the first graders first. I'm going to give that to Miss Yarnold, and she's going to award that at the end of the year to the boy or girl who runs the most laps. You don't have to be the fastest. You just need to get there before school instead of standing around. You get out there and start running laps. And I heard you guys get to earn those little feet things. And teachers, if it's going well, maybe I'll get more medals for kids. Maybe I'll give one to each class from whatever child runs the most laps. Because to me, it's important that you guys get rewarded for working hard. And not everybody can be the fastest in your class. And I know a lot of you came in second. You go, what do I get for second? Well, you had a good chance, and now you have another chance to win that medal. So we'll make sure Miss Wilson gets that to give to Miss Yarno. Pretty heavy, isn't it? Put it on somehow. Or some bling. Okay. No, real quick. They've seen the medal. Go show everybody else. Okay. Here's Dr. King's face. You guys all been learning about him, right? And I want you, when you're performing today, to think about Dr. King. I know you guys seen his picture in the back there, but be thinking about that. But a lot of times I talk about 3 E's that are important that Dr. King would like you to know. First is education. Everybody say education. Education! Now just listen. You're at school, and when you're at school, you're getting an education. But you're just not getting it from your teacher this year. You're very lucky to teach at Monterey Heights. Parents, you may know this. I taught my whole career at Monterey Heights. And you might say, why didn't you change schools? Why should I? I love this school. This is kind of like my second home. So teachers, if you're kind of new to this school or been here for a while, it's a very special school. My two sons actually came here for a while in the 80s and early 90s. Special school. But your parents are going to be your teachers your whole life. So if you're still fortunate enough to have your mom and dad with you, they're going to teach you so much your whole life. Your teacher's going to teach you a lot this year, but your mom and dad will be there for you forever. Also, this is what I want you to learn, too. That's always when I taught my first graders. There's my kids from last year, right down here. If you make a mistake, learn from it. Try not to do it again. That's education. If you keep making the same mistake, breaking the same rule, you're not really getting smarter, are you? No. So learn from your mistakes. Also, do you guys remember what I said? How do you win your grade? How did you win first grade? Get the biggest and the most easy. Biggest brain, try to get the most friends. Okay, can you guys do that? Is growth mindset still in Miss Wilson? No. And the last one is empathy. And there used to be a teacher here before Miss Yarno named Miss Amanda. And when she came in my class, we always talked about empathy. Thumbs up if you think you know what empathy means. Miss Wilson talked about it a little bit, but this is what I want you to do. How many of you ever heard a story, and there's a character in the story, and you go, I know how that character's feeling. And if you think about the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, think about Baby Bear. Man, he had a hard day in that story, didn't he? How many of you ever thought, poor Baby Bear, I feel bad for him? That's empathy. If you can put glasses on and kind of see it from somebody else's point of view. And in this political climate, we may not agree with everyone, but you need to listen to each other and try to see their side of it, and then talk it out. That's what I highly advise you to do. And also I want to tell you, in my whole lifetime, I'm not really sure about Dr. King because I never talked to him, but I've never been in a fist fight in my whole life. And I'm going to turn 62 next year, and some of you might think, well, aren't you tough, Mr. Prokop? There's been a couple of times, trust me, boys and girls, I was so mad that I wanted to put my hands on someone, but guess what would happen if I was in school and I put my hands on somebody? I'd probably get in trouble, even if it's the other person's fault. And there was one time when I was in 6th grade, some guy was so mad at me, he came running at me, and right before he got me, I just kind of ducked, and he went flying over me. And I felt bad. And I'd like to tell you that I picked him up and took him to the nurse, but I was kind of afraid he was going to come at me again. But like I said, but usually you got to use your brain. Dr. King was very powerful with his words. He had a way to say it that, hate cannot get rid of hate, only love. But what I would highly advise you is to talk it out more. I'm almost done, Miss Wilson. Oh, Jalissa, do you have my peace medal or some?